Bitcoin is still looking strong, but is putting a Mike Tyson knockout level beating on altcoins for the moment. We're going to take a look at a few charts and see when altcoins are likely to reverse and if Bitcoin is due for a retracement before testing some new highs. We're also, as always, going to review all the news that's driving markets. You guys don't want to miss it. Let's go.
Let's go.
That's dope. What is up, Wolfpack? I'm Scott Melker, also known as the Wolf of All Streets. Before we get started, please subscribe to the channel and then go grab a pen or another blunt object and smash the like button aggressively. Don't use your fingers. You want to keep your fingers away and use the pen to hit that like button. Get a lot of likes. So yeah, guys, I am very sorry. I usually don't capitulate, but boy, I was not in good shape yesterday afternoon at 1:30 when I would have been doing the other live stream. Kicked into some feverish tendencies there. Got up to about 103, was crushing it. Still, I would say I'm still operating at about 50%, but also whatever, man. What am I gonna do? Lay around and watch TV? That's like some sort of ancient torture to me to have to do nothing. I cannot do it. Not a thing. So anyways, here we are. We're back. And while I was gone, altcoins took a beating similar to me. They took a beating similar to me, but nobody here is surprised, right? Because we've been looking at Bitcoin, altcoin versus Bitcoin charts here for weeks. And I've been showing you how they look pretty good on the USD pairs. Not so much anymore. But the fact that they look so bad on the Bitcoin pairs probably means that Bitcoin's about to make a move up and alts are about to get wrecked. When Bitcoin starts to move heavily, the best place to be is Bitcoin. That does not mean you should panic sell your alts. Does not mean you should react in any way. Just means you should expect to see some downside of an alts versus Bitcoin, which is what we have seen. All right, guys, we're going to start to dig in here right now. Let me open your comments over here. Smash that like button, says Fenyo. Smash it. Smash it. Smash it. But do it with a pen. Take it like this and just... That's kind of like, that looked like something from a horror movie. Market wrap, Bitcoin all-time high expected, but not before a pullback. The options market is placing a 20% probability on Bitcoin ending the month at a new all-time high above 65,000. 20% is pretty good, actually, considering we're sitting around 57. That's a pretty high expectation. A lot of people are calling for a pullback here. I can see the justification for it. I've been talking to you guys about it for a while. I'm going to go through the charts, but you'll see we're at some pretty heavy resistance here. Volume is sort of decreasing. Now altcoins are bleeding. That could mean Bitcoin's going to go either way. Generally, we look for Bitcoin to go up in that scenario. But here it says Bitcoin all-time high within reach. They say the options market, 20% chance that it's going to be above. As you go down here, crypto funds see inflows. Crypto-focused funds took in more than double the amount of new money last week than they did the prior week as bullish sentiment returned to the Bitcoin market. Guys, money is absolutely pouring into this space. Institutions are buying Bitcoin. They're investing in Bitcoin. But right now, even just these very basic metrics, we're seeing an insane amount of institutional money flowing into the market. Bitcoin eyes 60K as active entities surge. Price chart shows impending bull cross. An increase in network adoption along with price increase is believed to confirm an uptrend. So this is basically what it's talking about here. While Bitcoin's gained 30% this month in price, the user activity on the network, as measured by the 7-day average of the number of active entities, has increased 19%. This increase in network adoption along with price is set to confirm the uptrend. Basically, it's confluence. Like, not only is price going up, but on-chain metrics are supporting the fact that price is rising, meaning that it's a true bull trend. Here's what Glassnode said. More active market participants has historically correlated with growing interest in the asset during early stage bull markets. And I think that that's accurate for where we are. As nuts as it sounds and feels like we should be really late here, it really is probably early in this market, especially if we're just about to break the highs. Let's take a look at the charts now and see what we got. Weekly chart, absolutely Chad weekly candle last week, made a higher high here above 52,944, broke blue resistance, and now is pushing into basically the last level there is. On the weekly chart, right? Because right here, 59,957, that was the highest weekly close ever. The top of this range right here is 59,560, this supply zone. So the supply zone is here because price dumped so hard in May, leftover orders. I've explained it a million times, but I never know when there's some new people here that need to hear it, right? But for now, nothing looking bearish here on the weekly chart. We had the two tests of 42K, massive, and then a bullish engulfing, another candle, massively bullish, closing above all of this price action. And for now, another bullish candle. On the daily, we actually pushed through the key supply area, this red area, and now have retested a support right to the EQ of it, actually. Now, obviously, there's more resistance right here, right? Right around 59,603. And then after that, nothing but clear skies to the all-time high. So I could definitely see it happening. The question is whether we're overbought enough on all of the other timeframes, lower timeframes, that we might see a retrace. If we do, you would obviously look at that 52,956 level. That was retested on Bitstamp on that fat finger order, but not on a lot of exchanges. And then I think the next natural level to look, which they were saying in that article actually was around 48,834. A move down to these levels and a major push up would not be bearish, just for the record. Just for the record. Are we past the major resistance zone? Yes, as mood. We are past it on the daily, but not on the weekly. But I would say that this is still very, very much in a key resistance zone. I see you guys over here talking about blurry phones and how the stream's not blurry. I always just default to probably your phone and not me, bruh. Anyways, still on the daily chart. I'll point it out again, Bollinger Bands. And I've used this, it's a indicator I've gone through my love affairs and hate affairs with. But we've been nailing it with this pretty much so far. Once we flipped the center line here, this blue line between the bands, and made it to the top and saw this expansion, you expect price to follow the expanding upper band. Right here, look. How tight bands tightened, got up above it, pushed this far. Same thing here, right? Bands tightened. Well, right here, bands were tightening, expansion, went the other way down. Bands tightened, but it was to the lows, and we saw price go down. So for right now, very encouraging that we will likely continue to follow this band, which is going to continue up for the moment. And what I love here, we were talking about this yesterday, on the daily chart, this invalidated any bearish divergence. It made a higher high on price and also a slightly higher high on RSI, you can see. Right there, above that. No longer a case for a bearish divergence with RSI on the daily chart. Still have these sort of longer ones on the lower time frames, like the 4 hour, obviously. You can see it's sort of bear divving its way up, but these are long divs, and there's not that much divergent action in the short term when you look in. This is the one that matters the most to me, and it's been invalidated, which is good news. But talk about, holy moly, talk about altcoins. Well, Bitcoin dominance doing what we talked about, right? Like I've said before, just so you guys know, everybody looks at Bitcoin dominance, the chart. It's a bit of a meme to look at the chart because there's no orders, right? The reason there's support and resistance is because traders are putting buys and sell orders all over the chart, and we're looking at where they're likely to do that. Dominance doesn't move that way, but there are people who believe that charts just move, in a natural flow, regardless of whether the asset is being traded. Anyways, we were at support on Bitcoin dominance down this area. I said it was likely to bounce, especially with Bitcoin making the move and Bitcoin alt charts looking bad. Well, we've seen that continued up. This could continue up further, guys, and your alts could bleed out more. What generally happens here, though, is your alts bleed on their Bitcoin pairs. They kind of stay put on the USDT pair. And then when Bitcoin's finished with its move, these rage and catch up all the gains and more. So that's why I say don't bother panicking. Don't worry about any of these things. Just sit tight and chill. Sit tight and chill. Everything can't go up all the time. Here it said walls balls. Do you remember? Did you guys ever play that game as a kid? Wall ball. There was a game when I was a kid called wall ball. You would never be able to play that in school now. We played it in middle school every day. Took a racquetball, which left huge welts. You threw it at a wall. If somebody dropped the ball, they had to run to the wall before someone hit them as hard as they could. And then if you dropped it 3 times, you had to go against the wall and just let people hit you as hard as they could with a racquetball. I don't think that would be allowed anymore. But here, I had pulled up Litecoin right now as the only example of an altcoin because it's a really interesting spot right now. Really interesting spot, right? Because this is the all-time low, not counting this wick that went to 0. That didn't really happen. This is the all-time low. Litecoin officially just made an all-time low against Bitcoin. But here it is right now. Could make the most epic weekly, monthly, whatever SFP, meaning that it wicks below and closes above. It's only Tuesday. But this could be a sign that we actually already have that Bitcoin move. Maybe Bitcoin consolidates down a bit and alts will actually catch up now. Could happen a lot of ways, guys, but they could be waking up here. As someone said, crypto banter love child. Does Rand know? Is Rand paying child support for you? Rand and Fred, you're their baby. Sheldon, you're his baby. Yeah, so maybe this is going to be the time. You guys called it, I see someone called it balls to the wall that game. Someone said butts up. Oh, yeah, butts up. Called it murder. Yeah, we called it wall ball. We called it wall ball. And you just came home with welts all over your body like somebody had beaten you senseless. And that was totally fine. And now if you like a teacher yells at a kid, they probably get fired forever and never get a job ever again. All right, so we'll keep a look at charts like Litecoin and Bitcoin dominance to see if alts are likely to catch up. But the more Bitcoin consolidates, hopefully we would see alts bounce a bit. And in surprising news, JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon says Bitcoin is worthless amid crypto bull run. Our clients are adults. They disagree. That's what makes markets. This guy's been hating on Bitcoin since Jesus walked the earth. So no surprises, obviously, that he is continuing to hate on Bitcoin, kind of his thing. But JP Morgan has their own coin for settlements that they use for cross-border settlements. So he obviously believes in the blockchain. He's allowed their wealthiest clients to trade it. We know that for a fact. And here he said, so if they want to have access to buy yourself Bitcoin, we can't custody it, but we can give them legitimate, as clean as possible access. Oh, yeah, as clean as possible, you money laundering crook. Everybody knows these guys are crooks. JP Morgan got in a lot of trouble for money laundering for like 10 years. Nobody cares, right? But here, as Ryan Selkis, my friend, 2-Bit Idiot, said, Jamie Dimon on Bitcoin, 2014, terrible store of value. 2015, will not survive, will be stopped. 2016, going nowhere. 2017, a fraud. 2018, don't really give a shit. 2019, JPM coin launch, like I said. 2020, not my cup of tea. 2021, I have no interest in it. Fool's gold, worthless. Line that up with the chart. As Joseph Young says, it's not a Bitcoin bull market without Jamie Dimon saying that it's worthless. Jamie Dimon also had an interesting point. He said, well, how do you guys know that there's only going to be 21 million Bitcoin? Have you each looked at the algorithm? I'm skeptical of things like that. Well, he obviously doesn't understand Bitcoin. Yes, actually, in theory, someone could change the code with a consensus to make there be more than 21 million Bitcoin, but that would mean it was against the self-interest of every single person voting and every single person who holds Bitcoin, right? The beauty of Bitcoin, the whole point is that people can either act in the interest of the community, the world's better good, you know, all those kumbaya, whatever. But also, if someone is completely self-interested and a complete asshole, it also benefits them to play by the rules, right? Everyone wants the price to go up, and everyone is motivated by price going up, and doing something like lifting the supply ceiling would obviously make the price go down. Nobody going to do that. Who's saying Rand's bald? Rand has a great hairline. Rand's hairline is great. What's wrong with you guys? Yeah. What's worthless is Dimon's view on crypto. What a plank. I've never heard a person described as a plank, and I don't really know what it means. But yeah, Jamie Dimon eats actual gold for dinner. Probably. He's a POS. That stands for piece of shit, for those of you who don't know. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, let's keep going because, I mean, how much time can we really spend on this dude? Coinbase co-founders venture firm raising 1.5 billion fund, document shows. An investor deck shows Paradigm is in the process of raising what would be one of the VC world's largest crypto-focused funds. I got nothing on Andreessen Horowitz. Those dudes got a couple funds, and one of them's over 2 billion, just to be honest. But Paradigm is the fund of Fred Ursum. He's one of the founders of Coinbase, and they're raising $1.5 billion in the next month. All for investing in crypto projects. I keep telling you guys, like, forget about price, forget about things, you know, forget about on-chain metrics and technical analysis. Follow the money. Follow the money. All VC money, private equity money, invest in individual whales money is pouring in to the crypto space. Absolutely pouring in, investing in all of these companies. This is where the next huge wave of tech development is happening, and all the money's coming here. The market's not going to die if every rich person on the planet seems to be pouring their money into it. Don't you think? Plank is someone really unintelligent. Okay, and then you called him a plonker. All right, yeah. Following the money. Follow that money. Looking back at you guys. Comments over here. Early Facebook investors, speaking of which, Andreessen Horowitz nabs engineers from Novi Crypto Wallet. Andreessen Horowitz crypto team has hired 2 of the few people who know what's in Facebook's Novi wallet. I said, look, Andreessen Horowitz, 2.2 billion fund to use for crypto investments. Oh, 1.5 billion, Fred Ursum. I raise you 2.2 billion. It's tapped 2 Novi wallet engineers as A16Z. That's Anderson Horowitz, crypto's CTO and CISO. Now, these guys were very early. Anderson was one of the original investors in Facebook, but also in Diem, which was at the time Libra. Libra then became Diem, and now they're talking about the Novi wallet. Well, Anderson's had enough, I guess, of trying to support Facebook and just going to take their employees and do it themselves now, which is really interesting. Just another example of huge talent shifting around and coming into the crypto space. Crypto lending firm Celsius raises $400 million. So much money. So many monies. So many monies coming into crypto. As Alex Mashinsky said, it's not 400 million. It's the credibility that comes with the people who wrote those checks. And who wrote those checks? Well, I don't speak French, so I can't tell you. But if I did speak French, I would say it was the Caisse de dépôt et placement du Québec, CDPQ, and Westcap, an equity firm established by former Airbnb executive Lawrence Tosi. But this is Canada's second largest pension fund, CDPQ. This is like pensions in the United States are not putting their money in Bitcoin, guys. This is absolutely huge. This is real money. And I guess this should put some of the fears to rest about the issues that Celsius might be having with regulators in certain states. And obviously should give us a bit more confidence in lend products in general. We all know that the SEC not only said that Coinbase couldn't launch a lend product, which was only 4% on USDC, but that they'd sue them if they tried, right? And so Celsius has been in hot water ever since then, having some issues, but you got to figure a pension fund that invests hundreds of millions of dollars into this platform knows something that we don't, that maybe there's not as much threat as we believe. Pension. What's a pension anymore? I don't know. It's that thing that gives you free money later. Fucked up French accent. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's fine, guys. That's how I would say it. And then I would say, sacre bleu. Anyways, the Quebec French accent is different. Should I say it? Here's how an American would say it. Casey de depot et placement du Québec. Quebec. Yeah, guys, I don't do French. Sam Bankman-Fried hands control of crypto trading firm Alameda to two deputies. The crypto billionaire had already shifted most of his time to running FTX. Carolyn Ellison and Sam Trabucco will continue running the show at Alameda Research. I think this is just basically a shuffling of something that was already obviously happening. We all know that Sam has been spending all of his time at FTX. He literally sleeps on a beanbag behind his desk there, behind his chair. And he doesn't even have like a corner office. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but Sam Bankman-Fried is like probably worth $20 billion or something. Literally like goes from his big screen thing and like drinks his, 5-hour energy and then sleeps on the beanbag right behind it. And then comes back in, doesn't probably take showers and stuff. Unbelievable. If I was a billionaire, I don't know, man, I would probably let the finer things in life take over, to be quite honest. But yeah, so he's going to focus full time on FTX, which is sort of happening. These guys are going to be running Alameda. Now, Alameda is huge. They did $1 billion in revenue just last year, but they're one of the biggest market makers in the space. They're moving those coins around, keeping those spreads tight so all of us traders can have a good old time. FTX, speaking of which, FTX US is interesting. We never get much news of things happening in the United States. Aims to take on OpenSea, first with Solana NFTs, Ethereum only weeks away. Now, what's cool here, as they point out, you can now buy Solana NFTs with USD. That's cool. On FTX's regulated, that's cool, marketplace, and Ethereum support is on the way. Basically, the story here is much like I've talked about Superbid all the time on Fridays, who's one of my sponsors. This is, if you go on OpenSea, you have to have a certain basic level of crypto knowledge. It's very confusing. Like, you got to get a MetaMask wallet, deal with your private keys. You got to know how to put Ethereum in there, go on OpenSea, buy with Ethereum. Where's my NFT? We've all been through it, right? The initial steep learning curves of crypto. Well, on FTX US, you'll just be able to go in and buy an NFT with your dollars and it'll live there and you're good to go. And you'll know that you're compliant with regulation. So it's a pretty big deal. Listen, I'm not saying that you need to use it, but your average person who's just like, what are them NFTs? I got to get me some of them. I don't know I don't know what that was. They don't want to go figure out how to use the Eurythriums and the Ethereums. We call them Eurythriums with the normies. They don't want to go deal with all that. They just want to go to their, E-Trade, which is the same as an FTX US, and go and hit the buy button and buy something, right? So that's the deal, right? Gene Simmons, 300K Cardano investment has more than doubled since February. What a Chad. Because stars veered heavily into crypto in recent years, it may have paid off handsomely. I mean, you just said it did. Shit. Yeah, he bought $300,000 of Cardano. Writing the cryptocurrency was one I believe in. This dude also was super heavy in the Doge. He had a really funny quote though here. He said ADA is one of 14 cryptocurrencies that Simmons owns. He said Sunday in an interview, I like Cardano, although it's an idiot name. Simmons said, get rid of that thing. Just call it ADA. Call it by the trading name. Not the worst idea. I think it would actually be pretty good for branding. But listen, guys, Gene Simmons, the man with the longest tongue on the planet, making a whole lot of money in crypto has been talking about for a long time. You got to love it. Got to love that. I got a narrow Ethereum, love King of the Hill. Yeah, Ethereum. It's the Ethereum, man. Ethereum. Normal people call it Ethereum. Mahdi would like you to know that Bitcoin is scam. Just thought you guys should know that. Yeah, Bitcoin scam. Guys, that's all we got for you today. That's it. That's all of it. I'm going to go, recover a little bit more. But tomorrow I will be back for my normal double complement of live streams, morning at 9:30. And then, of course, Chartapalooza at 1:30 p.m. There's a link right down in the description to my newsletter. If you guys haven't read it, maybe read it. Maybe open your eyes and read it, And Chartapalooza is requests from my paid newsletter subscribers. That's how I choose the charts that I do every Wednesday afternoon. They get a Google form tomorrow in the newsletter. They fill it out. We take the 25, 30 top requests, and I look at them. Yeah, $15 a month. You get it 5 days a week, and you get me to be your personal charting slave. I am your slave. Guys, thank you very much for taking the time out to hang with me today. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.
That's dope.